There's a reason 90 days of semen retention is considered a rite of passage. Not a streak, but a shift. At first it feels physical, more energy, more tension, more restlessness. But as the days stack, the transformation moves deeper. Your thoughts become cleaner. Your body begins to hold structure. The brain stops chasing noise and starts locking into purpose. By day 30, you're sharper. By day 60, you're hungrier. And by day 90, something clicks. Your emotional wiring, your hormonal rhythm, your inner discipline all begin to sync. This isn't hype. It's biology honoring consistency. Your system stops reacting to life and starts leading it. What changes everything is how retention slowly rewires your identity. You don't just feel stronger, you become the kind of man who doesn't need to prove anything. Focus replaces anxiety. Power replaces shame. You stop chasing temporary highs and start building permanent outcomes. Every major function, testosterone, dopamine, sleep, confidence, memory, levels up. But it doesn't come all at once. It comes in stages. That's why 90 days is more than a challenge. It's the window where the old version of you fades and the real one starts taking shape. Not through motivation, but through momentum. And once that switch flips, there's no going back. Section 1. System disruption. The first 30 days don't feel like progress. They feel like war. This is where your nervous system starts rebelling. Years of overstimulation, fast dopamine hits, and reward-on-demand behavior begin to collapse. Suddenly the screen doesn't satisfy. The scroll doesn't numb. The urges spike, then crash, then come back louder. That's not weakness, it's recalibration. Your dopamine receptors, fried from years of constant release, start to shed their dependence. But the price is high. Brain fog, irritability, sudden cravings, and restlessness. This is a detox, not from a drug, but from a lifestyle. And the mind, no longer drowning in stimulation, begins to show you what it's really built on. During this phase, something strange happens. You start craving more than just release. Sugar, junk food, mindless scrolling. You reach for anything that can give you that old dopamine hit. That's the basal ganglia firing survival signals, trying to restore comfort by activating your oldest habits. Semen retention doesn't just block pleasure. It exposes every escape route you've built into your day. Suddenly, you see how distraction has been controlling you, not just in private, but everywhere. And that's where the work begins. Day by day, the nervous system starts waking up from its sedation. It's uncomfortable. But behind that discomfort is access to clarity you've never felt before. Around the third week, something shifts. It's not loud, it's subtle. You start doing things you used to avoid, cleaning, creating, finishing what you start. For the first time, the reward doesn't come from dopamine spikes. It comes from doing. That's your prolactin dropping. That's your dopamine stabilizing. That's your internal reward circuitry turning back on. And suddenly ambition returns, not forced, not hyped, but natural. You stop chasing temporary fixes and start gravitating toward meaningful effort. The fog begins to lift, not because life gets easier, but because you're no longer chemically tied to escape. You're now building from within. Day 130 is hell, but it's also the rebirth of a system that was never meant to live addicted to comfort. Section 2. Cognitive ascent. The next 30 days feel different. The chaos quiets. What once took all your energy to resist now passes like background noise. This is where your internal systems begin talking to each other again. The hypothalamus, pituitary gland, and gonads, the three pillars of your male endocrine system, start syncing. Testosterone rises, but it no longer comes with agitation or compulsive thoughts. It settles into rhythm. You feel alert, but not anxious, present, but not reactive. Libido becomes focused, not scattered. Emotion becomes clear, not overwhelming. This isn't just hormonal balance, it's biological alignment. And when your body stops fighting itself, the mind begins to rise. Inside your brain, something deeper is being rebuilt. Control. Not the forced kind that burns out by noon, but a cold, clean grip over your impulses. The anterior cingulate cortex and the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex, two regions responsible for discipline, focus, and emotional pause, begin strengthening. You no longer react to every pull. You choose when to respond. The cravings that once felt urgent now feel beneath you. You don't scroll out of boredom or binge out of stress. That restraint becomes automatic. You're not thinking about self-control, you are self-control. This isn't willpower, it's architecture. Retention begins to engrave a new standard into your nervous system, one where chaos no longer gets a vote. And then your speech changes. You don't notice it first, but others do. You pause more often, speak slower, your tone deepens. There's less filler, more weight. People lean in when you talk, not because you're louder, but because you mean it. This is energy redistribution. Your brain, no longer taxed by cravings and hormonal instability, channels power into cognitive clarity. Words come cleaner, arguments land harder. You don't ramble, you cut. That verbal dominance isn't learned, it's released. It was always there, buried under noise. Now, with retention holding the charge, your thoughts begin matching your presence. And presence always wins before words even start. By day 60, you don't just feel smarter, you command better. Conversations shift, social energy shifts. You find yourself stepping into roles without asking. Why? Because people subconsciously read signals you're no longer suppressing. Still eyes, calm voice, stable posture. That's retention made visible. It's not about being better than others, it's about becoming the version of yourself that no longer needs noise to fill the space. You speak less, but everything lands more. You ask less, but things align easier. That's what cognitive ascent feels like. Not a high, but a steady climb into grounded certainty. And once you reach this altitude, you're not coming down. Section 3, Deep Identity Shift. By the final stretch, day 61 to 90, something irreversible takes place. You stop chasing improvement and start embodying it. There's no performance, no borrowed confidence. What retention has done to your chemistry now bleeds into your identity. Testosterone no longer spikes, it stabilizes. Cortisol doesn't dominate, it's managed. Your decisions feel grounded. Your posture changes without thinking. Your voice doesn't rise to be heard, it lands because it carries. You've entered the state where presence is felt before words are spoken. This isn't a mindset trick. It's what happens when a man has retrained his body to hold power, not leak it. And everyone around you feels the difference, even if they don't understand why. People treat you differently, and it's not by chance. Social environments recalibrate when you do. The friends who once joked at your expense stop testing you. Conversations slow down when you enter the room. Women pause when you speak, and not because you're trying to impress. It's a shift in energetic weight. Retention trains your nervous system to carry stillness, the kind that others sense as leadership. And if they can't handle that shift, they fade. The realignment is natural. You attract those moving forward and repel those who pull back. That's not social dynamics, that's energetic filtration. Your internal clarity becomes the filter for your entire environment. Then comes the final stage, motion without mental noise. You stop planning your next workout. You're already changing into gym clothes. You don't talk about building, you're already working. The brain stops negotiating, the nervous system stops resisting. Discipline becomes your resting state. This is momentum encoded through repetition. Retention doesn't just amplify focus, it automates the response. You're not trying to become high value, you are. Because you've trained your biology to act before doubt even shows up. The man who used to second guess is gone. At 90 days, there's no more decision fatigue, only direction. You move first, and movement is now your identity.